Hello everyone, it's Marie here from Pepperly Rose Paper Crafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to show you some new product and I'm going to be making a card with you. I'll be using the Celebrate Sunflowers bundle. This includes the stamp set and the matching dies, and you can get 10% off when you use the special item number, and it allows you to get that 10% discount. If you're a demonstrator, however, you get 30% off. So not only do you get the 10% plus your 20% off commission on top of that when you join as a Stampin' Up demonstrator. So if you're ever thinking about wanting to get your hands on some product early, now's the time to join, because you can actually include this bundle in your starter kit. So you can order from any of the products, whether it's the annual catalogue, the mini catalogue, or the new catalogue, whilst you're a demonstrator. So yeah, if you're thinking about it and you're ordering products that are more than $169 per time, or altogether even, consider joining so you can enjoy a discount as well. I'm also using the Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder, and I'm using the Old Faithful rectangle stitched dies. These are fantastic. And so we'll get started on the project. And of course, all of these products are available through my online store. And if you would like to join my team, I would love to have you on board. And you can join through Pepperly Rose papercrafting.stampinup.net. So with this card today, I'm using my favourite Whisper White cardstock. This is half an A4, and then I scored it in half again, and that gives you an A6 card base. So I'll just fold and burnish that score line with my bone folder, and it gives you a nice, crisp, professional looking edge. See that? Nice. So if you're new to paper crafting, this is what a bone folder does. It allows you to give you a nice tight crease. Then we have a layering piece of Whisper White cardstock, which goes on top of the card base. We will be ink blending this, and I've got a scrap piece there of some Whisper White and some crumb cake cardstock. So we'll get started. The first thing I want to do is to start stamping, and I'll be using this large image of the sunflower and a couple of these leaves as well. So we'll take them out. Now what I've done here is I've put a marker here for positioning of this sunflower, because there's quite a bit of bits to it. It can get confusing. So I've just put a little dot there to remind me of where to put it in. And also I've put a dot there using an alcohol marker, if you can see that. And that's just to help me to position the stamp when I cut it with the die. And what I've done with the die as well is I have put a marker there as well with an alcohol marker. So this is just something that I'm doing to make my life easy, because it can get confusing and frustrating as well. So I'll just grab my Stamparatus and my scrap piece of cardstock here, and we're going to stamp the sunflower. Now I'm going to be using some sponge daubers to make this multicoloured. So I'll just place mine like this on this scrap piece of cardstock there, just to make it easy for me when I'm putting it through the die cutting machine, so I know my position. So I will put that on the lid there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start using various colours. So to start off with, in the middle, I'm going to use some soft suede. Just bear with me for one moment. I need to grab some more of these sponge daubers. So I'll just bring out some soft suede ink, and I'm going to bring in my sponge dauber, and that's for soft suede. And what I'm going to do is just use my sponge dauber and just pop it there in the middle. And if I accidentally get some on the petals, I don't really mind. So just put the sponge dauber there. And that's with soft suede, and that's why I'm using the Stamparatus, because I can go backwards and forwards and have a nice clear image. I'll just get rid of these things, they're making noise when I tap away. And see that? How perfect is that? Just beautiful. And then in the middle, I'm going to just add a little bit of early espresso just for some shading. So I'll just tap that in. Just lightly. And I'll do it again. Just add a bit of shading, give it some life. And I'll just pop you up there so you can see that. So there's a little bit of shading between the early espresso and the soft suede, so it looks lovely. Then I'm going to clean that up so I don't contaminate my colours. And then what I'm going to do is grab some Daffodil Delight ink. I'm going to use my sponge dauber. And I'm going to stamp with the Daffodil Delight all over. And then I will also be using other colours as well, just to give it some nice shading. So, whilst it's in there. And if you can see that, that looks beautiful. So I will leave it at that with the Daffodil Delight. Then I'm going to add some crushed curry. Just grab that. And I'm just going to randomly use that. Okay, pop that in there. And then I'll just go around the middle as well with the crushed curry. A little bit more. Okay, and that looks lovely. And then I'm going to grab some pumpkin pie and I'll just give it some shading there. I'll just get rid of that crushed curry because it's quite a strong colour. Just give it a wipe with my microfiber. And now I'm going to get my pumpkin pie and just go around the middle. And then just randomly spot. And let's see how that turns out. That's a nice colour, doesn't it? I like that. So I'll just add a little bit more pumpkin pie towards the edges of the stamp. And that will do for a little while. Now, this is not going to stay like this. I am going to add extra colour, but I'll do that later when we do all the one thing at the same time. So, I don't need my stamp anymore for that, but I will bring out now the leaf, and we're going to stamp that a couple of times. So this is where the Stamparatus features comes in very handy. So I'm going to now use this the hinge method, and that will help me to bring that image down without moving the stamp, which is very handy. I like that. So For this, I'm going to get some old olive, and I'll just stamp directly with the old olive. Now, if you're hearing noises behind in the background, I'm very sorry. We have construction going on at the moment, and so you'll be hearing that for a little while, unfortunately. So that's with the old olive. I'm going to go step down. I'll just make sure that there's a pretty good gap. Just double check. Now, I might go down just one more because it's a little close, and that will give me enough room for the die as well when we cut it out. Okay, and that's with old olive ink. Then I'm going to go back up again, and I'm going to use some Mossy Meadow. Just clean that up. And I'm going to use a sponge dauber for the Mossy Meadow, and we'll just add what looks like shading. So, oops, it's a bit heavy. Might actually start that again. It's a little heavy. Okay. Just a little spot. All right, let's see how that turns out. Okay, you see that? Just adds a little bit of shading, and then we'll go down again. So this is the hinge method, and we will just do a little bit of spot with the Mossy Meadow, and we're done. So perfectly stamped. And you can get a variety of colours there. So I think it looks great. So I'll just clean everything up. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp the sentiment, and I'm going to be using Thanks a Bunch. I find I use excuse me, I find I use thanks a lot in terms of card making. So thank you cards, I use them quite often. So I'm going to use a Thanks a Bunch there. I'm going to pop that up here. Just make sure it's nice and straight. And even if it's not, it doesn't matter because we're going to cut it out with the die. So I'll just pop that on here. And I did actually pretty straight. Very good. So I'm just going to use the Early Espresso ink, and we'll ink that up. That came out very light, so I'm going to do it again, but I think this is drying up already, so I need to get the re-inker for this. So if it doesn't ink properly, I'll just use the soft suede on top, and that's still nice and juicy. Yeah, I'm going to use my soft suede ink, so I've got to re-ink this ASAP. Just give that a wipe. And let's go with the soft suede. Yeah, that's much darker than my Early Espresso. Isn't that funny? All right. All right, so perfect, nice and dark. So we're done now with all of our stamping. I'm going to do some ink blending now. I love my ink blending, as you're aware. It's something I enjoy, and I love the effect of it. So I'm just going to grab my craft sheet. Perfect way to ink blend. Now, with that, I'm going to use a smaller brush, and I'm going to use Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to colour the sunflower just lightly. And with a smaller brush, you can target it a lot better, so it's not all over the place, it's not huge. See that? That turned out, I'll show you that. It turned out really lovely. So that's that with that, so it's nice and easy. And then with the leaves, I'm going to grab the old olive. I'll just give this a quick. Okay. All right. So I'm going to grab the old olive. Tap that off. Make it as light as possible. And then go over the leaf image. See, that turned out nice. Just grab the colour off the craft mat here and do that again. And that's it. That's all done for that one. So I'll clean this up. Grab my makeup brush there. And we're going to ink blend the background, that panel there, with Balmy Blue. So I'll just quickly ink blend that one. And it's going to be quite a light blend. So just to add a bit of colour. Alright, now it's not a perfect blend, so you see some areas are darker, it's got some, but we're going to emboss that sheet of cardstock there, so it will look interesting, I'm hoping. This is what the idea in my head is. Whether it translates, another story, but we shall see how it goes. Alright, so done with all of that. We'll just give this a quick clean. Okay, so we're done with the cleaning and all of that. So what we'll do now is we'll grab our die cutting machine and we're going to emboss this. So I'll grab the embossing folder, and it is called the Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder. I love embossing folders that just give a nice texture, whether it's subtle or otherwise, but I tend to like the really plain ones. So there's the folder. I'm just going to put that in there. Now I'm going to do a test with a scrap piece of paper. Just bear with me for 1 second. Just run that through now. I'll just try and... Where did it go? Oh, there it is. All right, just run this through. So I'll just pop that into the embossing folder. Whoops. And it'll give it a nice texture. I want it to look like fabric, so let's see how that turns out. Oh, it's very nice, very subtle. So if we put it towards on the back of this, looks nice. Okay, so that's a 3D embossing folder. I think I need to run it through again with my cardstock there as a shim, because it's didn't do it thick enough. I wanted it to be a bit thicker, so I'm just going to run that through now. Oh, that's too much. So sometimes you need a shim, guys. So I'm just going to test this out now with 1 sheet of cardstock underneath and see what happens. Yeah. Yep, that's more pronounced. So for this machine here, I need to use a shim. So that's what the texture looks like, and I think it looks absolutely beautiful. So that's done. Now I'll bring in the rest of my stuff, and then we'll start. Now we'll start assembling the card. So I'll bring that all over. So I'll pop this over here and I'm going to add some glue. Just trying to think now if it looks better white on white. Let's see. We'll have a little play. So let's imagine this goes like that and like that. And then we have our thanks a bunch going down here. Oh, that looks nice. Or let's turn that over and do the same thing. I'd like it like that. That looks nice with that too, so I think I'll stick with my original plan. So I'll put some glue. All around the edges of this panel. Oops. I'll pop that in. Just make sure I even it out. Okay. Now with this, I'll put some glue just on the edge here. And I'll do this one here, like that. So that will look like that. And then I'll add the thanks a bunch, maybe up there, or I'll have it down here. And just have that white space. So I think I'll do that. So I'll put the thanks a bunch down here. Just right down there. And then I'll add this on top, like so. And I'll use dimensionals for that. So I'll just grab some of those. So I'm just going to pop this on now. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please share, like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Also, if you're interested in any of the products I've featured in today's tutorial, please don't hesitate to visit my online store at pepperyrosepapercrafting.stampinup.net. The link will be below this video, as well as the name I'll put up on the screen. So that's my finished card for today. I hope you enjoyed it. This is the lovely Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder. This is beautiful. For my machine, I had to add a piece of cardstock underneath this, plus the 3D embossing plate on top of that, to give it more texture. So every machine's different, so have a little play and see. But for me, I had to add an extra sheet of cardstock as a shim. So just as a warning, the rectangle stitch dies you can buy now through my online store, and the bundle of the Sunshine Celebrate Sunflowers will be available from the 1st of June if you wish to purchase it then. If you'd like it earlier, please join my team and you can include this gorgeous bundle in your starter kit. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to leave the inside blank. I really appreciate you coming past and watching my video. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to leave me a comment below, or you can contact me through my online store at pebblyrosepapercrafting.stampinup.net, or you can also private message me on Facebook, and I will leave the links below in the description box. Thanks again for watching, guys. I hope you like the card, and I will see you again next time. Bye. I am back again. I'm so sorry. I forgot to ink blend the middle. And I just looked at it now and I went, oh no, that looks terrible. So I'll quickly ink blend the middle part here. So I'll just grab my soft suede ink with the same little brush that I used before, and just tap off as much of the ink as possible, make it light, and then just go in the middle. And I'll get a bit more ink. And that looks a lot better. Anyway, I'll make it a little tad darker because the sunflower middle is quite dark. But that's that looks a lot better. So I'm glad I kind of saw that. So there you go. So you need to ink blend also the middle part, which I forgot to do. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. And I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.